You know, I wish I had a microphone to see how my voice sounds. Well, despite that, hopefully it sounds good enough. Um, I'll say this is my first video of many to come, hopefully, of a testimony where I've been compelled to tell on many occasions in which God has brought me through. I'm not a speaker. Let me not say that. I don't consider myself a speaker of any sort. I don't consider myself a motivational speaker at that, or a leader, or anything that you would find significant that you could take something from me, like advice or counselship or anything like that. I don't consider myself any of those things. Yet I've heard some of those things being thrown at me over the years. What you're seeing right now is just obedience. What you're seeing is a calling to do something out of my comfort, something that I'm not used to doing, but that I'm compelled to do. I don't even know where I'm going to start. I have no idea. Did I just hit the bar? I did. I really did. I have no idea. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I couldn't tell you. I just know I need to start. I need to say something. There is no purpose in terms of trying to, like I said before, motivate you to do something, trying to make money from this. There's nothing of that. It's just tell your story, i.e. your testimony. So that's what I intend to do. I have many of them, but I will share one in this particular moment that always sticks out to me. And hopefully on some level or another, you can resonate with it. My wife and I were taking our children. We have 5 children. We have 4 girls, 1 boy. He's the youngest of 4 girls. I think at this time we were taking them to this Fil A camp out there in the Blue Ridge Mountains. They do it every summer. And this is during a time in which every vehicle we had was breaking down. I mean, it looked like Christmas on Christmas Eve and Christmas afterwards on Christmas Day, with as many lights as were on in the van. And we had to go a particular route in which we had to go up a mountain that was so steep that I knew we might have some trouble. This was actually the second time that we had to go up this mountain. The first time we went up it was all good, ease. I mean, the van that we had, it was a Chrysler Town and Country, which we still have today. It went up that mountain like a G, like a champ. Coming back to go get them a week later, I felt something different. I felt we wasn't gonna make it. I wish I could tell you why we wasn't gonna make it. I wish I could say that there was some indication, something different with the van in which I said, oh, we might not make it. None of that came about when we left the house, except that in certain events, the van, I think, would skip. So you'd be driving and it would jerk a little bit, skip a little bit, which we had it so long, you almost thought it was normal. We're going back to get them. I'm going up the mountain. I'm about to sneeze. Yeah. We're going up this mountain. And on the way there, I'm feeling it jerking, like skipping gears a little bit. So I'm like, oh, shoot. I'll check it out whenever we get back home. Thinking, oh, man, maybe it's slipping the transmission or something like that. But we too far out here now. I got the whole fam with me. We're just going to pick up 2 of the girls. So it's me and my wife, 3 of the kids in the back, and we're going to pick up the other 2. At the foot of the mountain, it starts going like that, right? And so, we're following the GPS, and I'm like, man, I don't know if we're going to make it back. So maybe I can get somebody to kind of look at it whenever we get there. We get up. We're not at the crescent of the mountain yet. We're just kind of like a quarter of the way up. On the quarter of the way up, the GPS says you have 45 minutes left to get there. But we have to pick them up at a particular time. So we actually only had 30 minutes to pick them up. I just didn't want to press the van as much because of some of the jerking, so I slowed down during the trip. Whenever we got almost halfway up the mountain, there is more jerking. It's like I can't get past 3rd gear. There's this smokiness, this white billow of smoke just coming out of the exhaust. Stuff I ain't never seen before. I'm like, oh, shoot, we might be in trouble. We got transfer trucks. We're holding up traffic. It's getting stressful. The wife is hollering in the sense of, is something wrong? Or what are we going to do? Why is there so much smoke? Asking all sorts of questions. I have no answers. I'm like, man, Lord, we got to be there in 30 minutes. 30 minutes. The GPS says we got an hour left. 45 minutes left, something like that. If I could take you back to that moment, there was fear in my heart, but not in my eyes. There was only concern. It was like, oh, I don't know what's wrong with this. I've never experienced this before. As a man, you have some level of decorum that you have to keep the peace for the rest of the family. Because if we all, freaking out, or if we're all on 10, what good is that? Somebody got to be level-headed to make the right choices and decisions. We're going about 28 miles an hour, struggling. You can hear the grinding of the gears. Like you can hear these sounds and these billow of smoke, like you're going through the clouds. It was the exhaust. Everything that could go wrong was going wrong. It was horrific. I'm not lying to you. And God, thank God, we finally made it up there. I mean, we creeping. And you got, like I said, you're going up this steep mountain and you got this transfer truck, just coming up on you. And they're not going any faster than you. And then you got traffic behind them and behind you now. And then you got people passing you, looking at you like, what's wrong with the van, yada, yada. So I'm steady. It's going to be all right. We all right. We good. Yeah, we all right. I'll check it at the top of the mountain. Inside, I'm thinking, Lord, if you can just help me right now, please. I don't have no answers. I don't know what to do. I'm pleading. I'm begging. I've never been so prayerful and scared at the same time, but yet also in a time warp. Here's what I mean. We got to the top of the mountain. Now it says you will be there, because we're going slower. Now you will be there in 57 minutes or whatever the case is. I know by the clock, looking at the clock, we got 20 minutes before, we're supposed to, like, as a time limit, that everyone has already been picked up. The very end of the time limit, I think we had to be there. It was like 5:30 or something like that. I don't know, maybe 3:30 or something. I don't know, something of that. So it's like 2:57, whatever. This is like 3 years ago. We get up to the top of the mountain. There's this little plateau, and I'm thinking, hey, I'm just gonna pull over and just pop the hood of the trunk, see what's going on. I'm sure it's all good. I was so thankful just to get to the top, but I wasn't satisfied, because I knew we still had a ways to go. There was a point where I got out, lifted the hood up, looked it over, looked at everything, and was praying. But I couldn't let them see me sweating. Now, while I'm doing this, smoke is coming up from the hood and the exhaust. I got it in park, of course, and you can just hear, physically, you could hear there's something wrong there. I hope they don't continue on, right? Because there's people, there's onlookers and ongoers. They just going up there just to have a good time, rest, enjoy the mountain views and all that and this. I'm going up to go get someone. But I'm at a certain point of rest that I had to gird myself up again to get back in that van, to say it's gonna be all right. I said, Lord, if you can just get me there. Mind you, it took everything we had to get up this mountain. And I'm talking about this a mountain. I didn't even think we was gonna make it. Halfway up, I'll be honest with you, I didn't think we was gonna make it. But the whole time I was saying, we all right, we gonna make it. We'll be there. I'll stop at the top of the mountain. Had no idea we was gonna make it to the top of the mountain. I just know we couldn't stop on the side of the road because there's no median, there's no side, there's no this, and we're coming around the curve of the mountain. So, if your car stops here, you got somebody coming around here, coming around, it's not a good look. Your whole family's in danger. So just getting to the top was a consolation prize at best for me. Luckily, my cousin took her girl, to the same camp and was like, hey, do you want me to go get her and just hold her to that point? And I was like, at worst case, yeah, but right now, just let me see. We on our way, we coming, we'll be there. Because they wouldn't necessarily release our children to somebody who wasn't on the list. So I said, Lord, we got 15, almost 18 minutes, whatever I'm thinking, to get there. I don't know if we're gonna make it. The GPS says we'll be there in 52 minutes. Or 48 minutes or something like that. I get back in the car, in the van. We're going down the mountain. And just as now we're going down a steep mountain, and it won't go past like third gear. It won't go faster than 35 miles an hour. So I'm braking the whole time, or I know it's going bust one of the, the gears, or bust the transmission or whatever. So I'm going like, again, now I got traffic, add more mental pressure. we get to a certain point, and I remember thinking, I don't remember this. Hold up. We're here already? I remember this. I'm starting to see landmarks that I thought were down the road. So just as fast as it came, it went. So I was like, oh, hold on. I don't remember this, but yeah, I do. That's that landmark. We're not that far away. Can't be that far away. Because I remember this. When I hit this point last time, it was only 10 minutes. Between coming down that mountain and when it hit like a plateau of, like, you know, you come over the mountain, you come down the mountain. By the time it hit here, I knew that it should have been 40 minutes minimum. But the landmarks that I saw told me it was 10 minutes. GPS says you're 30 something minutes or 40 something minutes away. Within the next 5 minutes, we were pulling up to the college, which is where they were staying. And I'll remember the college in a minute. I remember getting on the main road, and on the main road, the college was right there. But I remember thinking, how are we here so fast? We just came down the mountain. I don't understand. I said, hey, I told my wife, I said, hey, look at the GPS. How much longer does it say we got? She said, it says we'll be there in like 32 minutes. We're not going to make it. I said, I know where we at, though. I said, the college is up the street. She said, it can't be. The GPS says it'll be there in 32 minutes. I said, no, but it's right here. She said, okay, then just go. So I'm like, oh, GPS. Now, we all know GPS ain't that wrong. Ain't wrong like that. So I'm like, oh, man, maybe I took a wrong turn. But I said, everything looks familiar. I know where I'm at. Finally, I'm going the right direction, and we pull up to the college, and there's this slight little hill. It's like going up your driveway or something like that. The moment we got to the crescent of that, or to the beginning of that little hill, I mean, it's not really a hill. The van wouldn't go up it. It couldn't. It stopped. It literally, and it would. I had to put it back, and I told her, I said, hey, I can't go any further. It stopped. I pulled into a parking space. I'm thinking, we can't get up the hill, but we just came over the mountain. I said, let me see the GPS. I said, why does the GPS say you got 26 minutes left before you reach your destination? But we're at the destination. And when you looked at the GPS, it showed that we're at the destination, but that we have 26 minutes left to get to the destination. I said, I'm confused. I said, hey, jump in the car with my cousin, go get him. I couldn't believe it. Somehow or another, we went through a time warp where we literally skipped time and didn't know it. We were going slower. You know, when you read the GPS, it doesn't matter what it says. Like, hey, you're gonna be there in 20 minutes. You get on the interstate, like, I'm gonna cut the time by 2-3 minutes. And now you know you busting now. You going 80, 85, 75 miles an hour, whatever. And you might say to yourself 2 minutes. We went slower. 30, 35 miles an hour, and got there 30 minutes before the GPS said we're gonna get there. We went through a time warp of something. And when we got there, we couldn't get up over the hill. The car literally couldn't do it. Everybody was closed. I called around, finally got the girls, and I told my cousin, oh, no, we good. You know, the man in me. Oh, we good. Well, I figured it out. And we figured it out. But I said, no, go ahead. I sat there. My family was stuck at this college. Everybody's gone. I'm looking across the street. There's this little pub place, like chicken tenders and fries that they were serving. I told the wife, hey, y'all go on over there, get them something to eat. It's hot. It's in the summer. It's July. And I'm sitting there sweating. The van is acting up transmission, so it's not blowing out cool air. And I said, Lord, thank you for getting me here. I don't know how you did that, but I'm gonna tell somebody you did it, man. But I need some more help. I need you to get us home. We out here in the Blue Ridge Mountains. What college is that? I don't know. I'll figure it out later. So let me make a long story short. The president of the college just happened to drive by. I said the president of the college. Just happened to drive by and said, hey, you need some help? Now, I didn't know who he was. I was just like, you know what? We do. I said, I need to find a U-Haul place because I need to rent a car to get us home. But I said the mechanical places around here are all closed. But I did find a Ford dealership that would be able to at least take it in and assess the problem. Right? So I had it towed over to that direction. But we got to get home. We 2 hours from home. We 2 hours, hour and a half at most. Maybe hour and a half, 2 hours from home. I don't know how we're going to get there. Everywhere I call, we ain't got nothing. Ain't nothing available. Ain't got nothing. And so he says, well, there might be a U-Haul place out there in Blairsville, and maybe I could take you to him. I said, fantastic. Because as they was inside and I was calling around, I called a Ford. So, I ended up calling. There was a Ford dealership, which is about 45 minutes away. Had to get a tow truck, calling tow truck, AAA, everybody I knew. This whole stuff took about a good hour and a half trying to make connections and make sure people were going, take the tow and we get there, yada, yada, whatever. So, of course, it took 2 hours for the tow man to get to us. So we had to wait on that. By now, it's like almost 6 o'clock. We get, I'm skipping around. I'm sorry. So I finally wait for the tow man to get there. But while I'm waiting, the president of the college, he says, I tell you what, he said, look like you're in a little bit of some trouble. How about I drive you somewhere for you to go get the rental car? And I said, fantastic, because I just made an appointment online with U-Haul, and they have one van left, a 16-passenger van left. I said, I don't care, I'll take whatever you got. I said, there's 7 of us, I gotta get us home. He says, can I give you a lift? He said, and I tell you what, I'll take you there and I'll come back and get your family and take them once I drop you off. I'm looking up in the sky like, Lord, what? Yes, I will take that. Yes, thank you. I need that. I don't know this man from out, he don't know me. Takes me over to the U-Haul place. The U-Haul spot is not an individual storage spot, whatever. It's on the corner in a little strip, not a strip mall, but right beside a gas station on the corner, and it looks closed. They got a sign saying, hey, We like written outside, we'll be back. Went to across the state line, North Carolina, whatever, because we're literally like 15 miles from North Carolina. Let me add to this. While we were at the U-Haul spot, it just dawned on me. And I told you, like I said, they looked closed, but they was coming back. The president of the college, I'm gonna remember that name. He got my family, brought them back to me, and I was so appreciative, man. I gotta remember his name. I'll type it out, text it out. It's a big shout out to him. Like I said, it's like right there. It was right there on the corner of a gas station. We up in them hills. We up in those hills. You understand what I'm saying? Like, ain't none of. We up in those hills. So I said, I know y'all thirsty. Y'all just got through eating, but I know everybody thirsty. I said, let me go up in here. I told you, I ain't have a whole lot of money, like cash or nothing like that. So I was like, well, let me use the credit card, get some waters or something. Excuse me. And as I'm in there, my family now, because I said it was closed, so my children, my wife, we're sitting outside of a closed door. It looks like we're homeless. It looks like we are struggling for real. Like we have no resources. Like we just here, whatever. And there were two people, I think. One in particular. It was a white dude. He was like, hey, I just went in the store. I figured, bought out a bag of water, chips, candy. Just wanted to get this to y'all, you know, to the children and you know, just in case somebody's hide or something. Didn't make reference or mention like, hey, do y'all need some money? It wasn't like that. It was just like, yeah, here's some stuff. I didn't take offense. I didn't take offense. I wasn't like, man, we don't need this. We ain't homeless. We just waiting on them to come over. I wasn't like that. I said, man, I sure appreciate it. I sure appreciate it. I knew that was God looking after us. Let me know his hand's still on your boy. I forgot that moment. That was a necessary moment to be humbled like that, to see blessings. Like some of the greatest blessings I've ever had were in my most humbling moments. My most humbling periods in life is where some of my greatest blessings came in. That time thing got me. But even the blessings thereof. Did you hear what I said? The president of the college. How many times have you ever seen the president of any college? Just happen to drive by. You rarely see him when you enrolled in school. Man, don't give up, man. I'm thinking, I just made the appointment. They said they closed, they'll be back in 15 minutes, but it's close to the closing time. I said, if they don't want to come back, they ain't got to come back. So I found the number and said, hey, I'm here. I really need this van. It was like, okay, well, we'll come back, yada, yada. So they came back about 45 minutes later. By this time, the guy, he did bring my family there. I was in contact on the phone with him the whole time. And when I tell you the blessing on that, I couldn't have asked for anything better. That was a moment. My heart was heavy. I didn't have the answers. was stressing. My family is stranded. We had no vehicle. I'm in a place that I'm not familiar with. I'm slightly scared because I don't know how all this is going to play out. It's not like we're rolling in money, so we didn't have a lot of cash. I had enough on the credit card to get us home, for sure. Had that U-Haul place been closed and they didn't come back, my family and I would have been stranded because we was in, now I didn't know Ubers and stuff come through there. And I just asked the Lord just to get us home. I knew it was the last van that they had left because when we got in it, the previous people's trash was still in it. It wasn't washed, it wasn't clean. I ain't care. I ain't care. I said, I'll bring it back when I bring it back tomorrow. I said, I just need to get back home. We got a car at home. I just need to get my family home. I'll bring it back tomorrow. That was one of the greatest tests of faith that I've ever experienced, in the sense that I literally saw him and we witnessed it, of him coming through for us, but yet also showing a miracle with the time. I'll never forget it. That time got me, man. When I looked at the GPS, you would be there. I don't know if I said 26:20. I think it said 28 minutes you had left. But we was already at the destination. And I know GPS, they're never that far off. Never that far off. You know, as I do this, it doesn't even feel impactful. It doesn't even feel as impactful as I thought it was going to be. What I know is, every time I needed God, he showed up, man. Even when I'm scared, when I ain't got the answers, when I don't have the resources, something always works in my favor. All the time. And that goes with the inclusion when I don't necessarily all the way believe that it will. I'm just speaking. It'll be all right. All right. Sometimes I ain't have faith. I'm just on hope. I just hope. And then off the hope, I'll muster up some work. From the work, I gain the faith, and then they all work together. That moment, though, that was a transitioning moment for me. That told me, hey, whatever it is that you want, you can have. Don't worry about the how.